It is the end of the month and the money is thin, and you are standing in front of your open cupboard, wondering what on earth you can make. There is a little rice, maybe an egg, a few tired vegetables in the drawer. You think there is nothing there. You think you will have to go to the store or order something and spend $8, $10, $12 you do not really have. So you close the cupboard and you reach for your wallet and you feel that small, tired worry that comes at the end of a long month. Let me say it plainly. That cupboard was not empty. You were looking at a full meal and did not know it, because no one ever taught you to see it. Come with me into my kitchen. My wife Yuki is standing at the stove, and in front of her is almost nothing. A bowl of cold rice from yesterday, a single egg, a handful of green onion, a little soy sauce, and in a few minutes, from those few humble things, she makes a bowl of food that is warm and filling and good enough that our grandchildren ask for it by name. It costs plainly about 30 cents. 30 cents for a meal that satisfies a grown person completely. This is a poor man's meal. That is not an insult. In old Japan, in the hard years, this is what kept families alive. A bowl of rice made into a whole meal with one egg and whatever small thing was at hand. It has a humble name, and it is nearly forgotten now because the world got richer and busier and taught everyone that a meal must come in a package or a paper bag. But the meal never stopped working. The people simply stopped making it. Let me show you what the forgetting cost you. A single delivered meal these days is $12, $15, $20 with the fees. A frozen dinner is $4 or $5 for a small tray of salt and water. Even a fast sandwich is $6 or $7. A person who eats that way, believing there is nothing at home, spends perhaps $10 a day they did not need to, $300 a month, $3,000 and more across a year, all while the makings of a 30-cent bowl sat waiting in the cupboard. That is the quiet robbery. Not a thief at the door, a slow forgetting, $1 at a time. My name is Kenji Takara. I am 81 years old, and I live in Okinawa, in the south of Japan. Yuki has made this bowl since she was a small girl, in the years after the war, when there was very little, and a single egg was a small treasure. Her mother made it before her, and her mother's mother before that. In those kitchens you did not throw away yesterday's rice, and you did not waste an egg, and you knew, in your hands, how to turn almost nothing into enough. That knowing is what I want to give back to you today. We have a word here for the sorrow of waste, matinai. And there are two wastes in this story. The waste of money, spent on food when food was already at home, and the deeper waste, the waste of yesterday's rice, the tired vegetable, the last egg, all thrown out by people who never learned they were the beginning of a meal. Both of those wastes we end today. There is no money, plainly, in teaching you that a bowl of cold rice and one egg is dinner. There is a great deal of money in the packaged meal, the delivery fee, the frozen tray. No one sells the 30-cent bowl, so no one advertises it, and so it was allowed to be forgotten. But it was never gone. It was only waiting. By the end of this video, you will know how to make this forgotten meal yourself. The simple version, the egg over rice, and 2 or 3 ways to build it into something larger when you have a little more. I will give you the real reasons it works and nourishes, the exact steps, the honest safety notes, and the true cost, so you never stand at an empty-looking cupboard again. So let me show you the heart of it plainly. The meal is built on one idea, that plain rice, which is only the beginning of a meal, becomes a whole meal the moment you add one thing rich in protein and flavor to carry it: an egg. A spoonful of miso, a little fish. That one addition turns starch into supper. Understand that, and your cupboard is never empty again. Now, why does this humble bowl actually work? Why does it fill you and nourish you, and not just fool your hunger for an hour? Let me explain it plainly. Rice is starch, and starch is energy, real fuel for the body. But on its own, it burns fast and leaves you hungry again soon. What the old people did, without knowing the science of it, was pair that rice with protein and a little fat. The egg, the soy, sometimes a scrap of fish or a spoon of miso. Protein and fat slow everything down. They make the meal sit longer in the stomach. They steady you. They satisfy in a way plain rice alone cannot. So a bowl of rice with an egg is not a trick to quiet your hunger. It is a genuinely balanced, small meal. Energy from the rice, building blocks from the egg, flavor and salt to make it a pleasure. That is why it kept whole families standing through hard years. It works because it is real food, properly balanced, not because anyone was fooling themselves. Now, what you need: very little, and most of it you likely have. You need cooked rice. Best of all, cold rice left from yesterday, about 1 bowl per person. Day-old rice is not a lesser thing here. It is the traditional choice, and it holds together better. You need 1 egg per person, fresh. You need soy sauce, just a little. And then, if you have them, the small things that lift it: a green onion, sliced thin, a few drops of sesame oil, a sheet of dried seaweed, a pinch of sugar. None of those extras are required. The bowl is complete with only rice, egg, and soy. The rest is what you add on a better day. Now the method, step by step, in its simplest and most beautiful form: raw egg over hot rice, the way it is eaten across Japan, in a dish we call tamago kake gohan. Step 1. Heat your rice until it is properly hot. If it is yesterday's cold rice, warm it through. A sprinkle of water and a minute covered in a hot pan or over gentle steam brings it back soft and steaming. The rice must be hot, and this matters for more than taste, as I will explain in a moment. Put the hot rice in a bowl. Step 2. Make a small well in the center of the hot rice with your spoon. Crack 1 fresh egg into that well. The heat of the rice will gently begin to warm the egg. Step 3. Add a little soy sauce, perhaps half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, to your taste. If you like, a single drop of sesame oil and a scatter of sliced green onion. Step 4. Now stir, briskly, right there in the bowl. Fold the egg through the hot rice until every grain is coated and the whole bowl turns pale gold and a little creamy, and small threads of the egg cook lightly against the heat of the rice. This is the dish. This is the whole of it. Eat it at once, while it is hot. Let me place one quiet thing here. In our home, Yuki keeps a small notebook by the stove where she writes down the little ways each of us likes this bowl. More soy for me, a touch of sugar for our granddaughter. Keep your own small record of what your family loves. It costs nothing, and it holds the knowing. Now the honest scope, and here I must be plain and careful with you, because this simplest version uses a raw egg, and I will not have you come to harm. In Japan, eggs are produced and handled specifically to be eaten raw, and this dish is safe and everyday there. Where you live, that may not be so. A raw egg can, rarely, carry salmonella, and for some people, that risk is serious. So hear me clearly. If you are elderly, If you are very young, if you are pregnant, or if your health is fragile, do not eat the egg raw. And truly, anyone who is unsure should simply cook the egg, and the cooked version is just as beautiful. Instead of a raw egg over rice, cook the egg soft in a little water, or fry it gently and lay it over the hot rice, or scramble it through. If you want the raw style, use the freshest, cleanest egg you can find, ideally one labeled pasteurized, and keep it cold until the moment you use it. And plainly, if an egg smells of anything foul when you crack it, throw it out at once. When in doubt, cook the egg. The meal loses nothing. Now, matanai, the heart of it, how this one humble bowl becomes many meals and wastes nothing. This dish is, at its root, a way of using yesterday's rice so not a grain is thrown away. But it is only the beginning. When you have a little more, build on it. A spoonful of leftover vegetables, warmed and folded in, a few flakes of any cooked fish, a sheet of dried seaweed, torn over the top, yesterday's grilled scrap of meat, sliced thin. The bowl welcomes all of it. And the same idea stretches across your whole kitchen. Cold rice plus one good thing is always a meal. Rice and an egg today. Rice and a spoon of miso tomorrow. Rice and the last of the soup the day after. You need never throw away a bowl of rice again, and you need never stand at that cupboard believing it is empty. Now the honest math plainly. Count the bowl. A portion of rice cooked from a large sack costs perhaps 10 cents. One egg, 15 to 20 cents. A little soy sauce, a few cents. Call the whole bowl 30 cents, and generously so. Against that, the meal it replaces, the frozen tray at $5, the delivered supper at $15, the fast sandwich at $7. If even a few times a week you make this bowl instead of reaching for the package or the phone, you save perhaps $5 to $10 each of those times. $20, $40, $60 in a week, hundreds across a month, well over $1,000 in a year. From knowing that your cupboard was never empty. From a bowl the old people never stopped trusting, and the rest of the world simply forgot. So here is what I ask you to do this week. One evening when you are tired and thinking there is nothing to eat, do not reach for the phone. Go to your cupboard and find yesterday's rice and one egg. Warm the rice until it steams. Make a well, add the egg and a little soy sauce, and stir it through until it turns gold and creamy. Or, if you prefer, lay a gently cooked egg over the top. Sit down and eat it slowly, and feel in that warm and simple bowl that you were never as poor as the empty-looking cupboard made you feel. And tell me something in the comments. When you were young, in a hard time, was there a humble meal your mother or your grandmother made from almost nothing? A bowl, a soup, a dish of scraps that fed the whole family and that you have not tasted in years? What was it? Those forgotten poor man's meals are exactly the kind of wisdom that vanishes when no one writes it down. Share yours. I read every single one. Next time, since today we made a whole meal from rice and a single egg, I will show you how Yuki turns that same bowl of rice and a spoonful of miso into a warm morning soup that costs even less. The same care, the same waste-nothing heart. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Until then, remember the whole of it in one breath. Take yesterday's hot rice, fold through one egg and a little soy sauce, and the cupboard you thought was empty becomes a warm and honest meal for 30 cents.